Hello and welcome to the Urban Herald. Today we're diving deep into something that's, well, it seems to be everywhere lately, a sport often called the fastest growing in the world. We're talking about Padel. Now this started, believe it or not, in a Mexican backyard and it's just exploded globally. So our mission here at the Urban Herald is to unpack exactly why. We'll look at where it came from, how you actually play it, its unique style, and yeah, it's an incredible popularity. We're drawing from the deep analysis we've put together on this whole phenomenon. Okay, let's unpack this.
It really is quite a story. One of the most remarkable in modern sport, actually. When we at the Urban Herald started digging into the numbers, they were just, well, staggering. You're looking at over 30 million active players. That's across 130 countries and something like 46,000 courts worldwide. It's huge. So yeah, this isn't just some fleeting trend. It feels like a real shift in sports and leisure. And our article gives us a fantastic base, a rich set of sources to really get into what makes Padel tick.
Right. So for anyone who's maybe seen these courts popping up or heard friends talking about it, let's nail down the basics. What exactly is Padel?
Okay, simply put, it's a racket sport. Think of it like a hybrid, taking bits from tennis and bits from squash.
Okay, tennis and squash, I get that. But what makes it Padel?
The crucial things are, it's always played in doubles, 2 versus 2. And the court is enclosed by walls, usually glass and mesh.
Ah, the walls. Right. And that changes things.
Massively. It means the game prioritizes teamwork, quick reflexes, tactical thinking, much more than just hitting the ball hard. You don't need like a massive serve like in tennis to be effective. That makes it really accessible.
That accessibility. Does that go back to its origins? How did it even start?
Yeah, it does. The history is actually quite charming, almost accidental. It starts back in 1969. A guy named Enrique Corcuera in Acapulco, Mexico. He was building a tennis court, but his property wasn't quite big enough, and he didn't want balls flying into the neighbor's yard.
Ah, okay. Practical problem.
Exactly. So he just decided to build walls around it and, well, basically invented Padel by doing that. Then his friend, Prince Alfonso de Hohenlohe from Spain, visited him, saw the game, loved it.
And took it back home.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Introduced it to Marbella in 1974, and Spain just ran with it. It became huge there, like the second most popular sport after football. Argentina also developed its own strong Padel culture around the same time, producing amazing players. Then, in '91, they formed the International Padel Federation, the FIP. That was key for getting it organized globally.
Okay, so that explains the where and when. Yeah. But let's get on to the court. How does it actually work? How do you play? What are the rules like?
Well, the rules are, thankfully, pretty straightforward. That's part of the appeal.
Easier than tennis.
I'd say the basics are quicker to pick up. The serve, for instance, is totally different. It has to be underarm.
Ah, no massive overhead serves here.
Nope. The ball has to bounce once behind the service line, then you hit it below your waist height, and it has to go cross-court into the opponent's service box. It immediately makes the rallies more about strategy than pure power from the get-go.
Okay, underarm serve.
Yeah.
What about scoring?
Scoring is identical to tennis. 15, 30, 40 game. Best of 3 sets usually, so that part's familiar to many people.
Right. But then there are the walls. That's the big twist, isn't it?
That's the game changer. It borrows that from squash. The ball can hit any of the walls after it bounces on the court surface on your opponent's side.
After the bounce. Got it.
Yes. If it hits a wall before it bounces on the ground, then you lose the point. But using the wall strategically, playing angles off the back or side walls, that's fundamental to Padel. And sometimes you even see players run outside the court through special openings to return a ball that bounced inside and then went out. It makes for incredible rallies.
Wow, okay. That sounds dynamic. What about the equipment? Is it just smaller tennis gear?
Not quite. The paddle equipment is specific. The rackets or palas are solid, no strings. They have holes drilled in them, which helps with air resistance and control. They're usually around 360 to 370 grams, shorter than tennis rackets, max 45.5 centimeters.
Solid perforated rackets. And the balls.
They look like tennis balls, yellow and fuzzy, but they have slightly less pressure. This means they bounce a bit lower and slower than tennis balls.
Ah, which helps with control and longer rallies, especially with the walls in play.
Precisely. It all fits together, and the courts are typically artificial grass, sometimes synthetic, good for grip, and easier on the joints.
So if we quickly compare Padel versus tennis again, key differences.
Okay. Court-size Padel is smaller, 20 meter by 10 meters, always doubles. Tennis is bigger, around 24 meter by 8 meters for singles, allows singles or doubles. Enclosure Padel's walls change everything. Tennis is open. Serve Padel is underarm mandatory. Tennis allows the powerful overhead. Equipment solid. Stringless Padel racket versus larger string tennis racket. Lower pressure Padel ball versus standard tennis ball.
And maybe a quick word on squash. How does it compare there?
Well, Padel has a larger court than squash. The walls are generally lower. It's played in doubles, which makes it more social. And it's usually considered less physically intense than squash, though still a great workout. It keeps that wall play strategy, though.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture. So we understand the game now, but why? Why is Padel exploding right now? What's driving this massive Padel popularity?
There are a few key drivers, and they really feed off each other. First, as we've touched on, is that incredible accessibility.
Yeah, the underarm serve, the smaller court.
Exactly. It lowers the barrier to entry massively. People who might be intimidated by tennis find they can get going really quickly. Our analysis showed most players can have decent rallies, actual fun rallies, within their first hour of playing. That's huge for retention.
You're not spending weeks just learning to serve.
Right. And the doubles format helps too, especially for beginners. You've got a partner, it's less pressure, more support. This means it appeals across ages, fitness levels, and demographics. We found something really interesting. Around 40% of Padel players are female.
40%? Wow, that's much higher than many sports. Tennis is like.
Tennis participation is often cited around 15% female globally, so 40% is significant. It suggests Padel's design less reliance on brute strength, more on tactics, and teamwork makes it inherently more inclusive.
That's a powerful point. What else is fueling the fire?
The social aspect is absolutely massive. It's baked into the game. Doubles means constant communication. The court layout keeps people close. And crucially, the culture around Padel is very social. Hanging out after the match, having a drink, chatting, it's part of the experience.
So clubs are designed with that in mind.
The smart ones are, yeah. They have nice cafes, lounge areas. It becomes a social hub, not just a sports facility. This really helps build a community. Clubs run leagues, fun tournaments, social mixers. It's especially appealing in cities for professionals looking to meet people, network, and stay active.
Makes sense. Anything else? Court design, celebs.
Both. The court design itself is clever. Those glass back walls aren't just for show. They let spectators see everything, which is great for watching. And for players, it adds that extra strategic dimension. Standardized courts mean you can play the same game anywhere in the world. And then, yeah, celebrity endorsement. It's been huge.
Like who?
Well, you've got tennis icons like Rafa Nadal. He even put Padel courts in his academy. Serena Williams plays. But also huge football stars. David Beckham, Messi, Neymar. Managers too, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. Klopp apparently said Padel is, besides football, the best game I've ever played. When people like that start playing and talking about it,
it gets noticed. Big time.
Absolutely. It pushes it into the mainstream consciousness.
You can really see that reach when you look at the global map. It's not just Spain and Argentina anymore, is it?
Not at all. Those are still the established powerhouses for sure. Spain's numbers are wild. 3.7 million players, over 22,000 courts. Some parts of Spain have more Padel courts than tennis courts now. Argentina's strong too. 2.1 million players, about 4,900 courts producing top pros.
But the newer growth, the European expansion, where is it really taking off?
Some places you might not expect. Sweden has been phenomenal. They went from under 100 courts to over 5,700 in like 3 years. Over 500,000 players now.
Wow.
Italy's booming too. Over 500,000 players, 8,000 plus courts. France saw 45% growth just last year. Belgium, the Netherlands, and the UK is catching up fast. We're looking at maybe 400,000 players in the UK in 2024, which is triple the previous year.
Triple. Okay, so Europe's buzzing. What about further afield? Emerging markets.
This is where it gets really interesting for the future, especially regarding investment. The United States is seen as the big one, maybe the most significant growth opportunity. They saw like 152% growth in courts in 2023, adding nearly 300 new ones. Projections are talking about a U.S. Padel market hitting maybe $1.2 billion by 2030.
$1 billion, just in the U.S.
That's the potential they see. Even now, court time in places like New York can be $200 an hour because demand is so high and courts are still scarce. The Middle East is another hotspot. UAE, Saudi Arabia, they're building really high-end facilities. Dubai court fees can be over 100 euros an hour.
Premium Padel.
Definitely. And Asia, China, Japan, they're starting to explore it too. All this needs infrastructure development. Globally, last year saw nearly 6,000 new courts, 2,500 new clubs. That's 16% growth in a year. We're over 46,000 courts now, maybe heading towards 70,000 by 2026.
The investment must be pouring in then?
It is. Private sector confidence is high. You see big investments like the Lawn Tennis Association in the UK putting £6 million into Padel development. It all points to that projected global market size of around $670 million by 2030, more than double what it was just a couple of years ago.
Okay, those numbers are impressive. But let's bring it back to the individual. Why should you, our listener, actually care? Beyond the leap, what are the real benefits of playing Padel?
Well, let's start with the physical health benefits, because they're significant. It's a fantastic cardiovascular workout. You're moving constantly, changing direction, short bursts. You can burn, say, 400 to 600 calories in a typical match.
That's pretty decent.
And it's low impact, you said? Generally lower impact in tennis, yeah.
Okay.
The artificial grass courts help. The ball is slower. It works your lower body, all those lunges and side steps. Upper body, 2 volleys, smashes. And it definitely improves agility, balance, coordination, because you have to react quickly in a small space. And that reduced injury risk makes it great for older players or people coming back from injuries.
Okay, physical side covered. What about upstairs? Mental benefits.
Oh, yeah. The mental and cognitive benefits are really interesting because it's so tactical, using the walls, planning with your partner, you're constantly making decisions. This sharpens cognitive flexibility, reaction times, concentration. You have to think fast. Plus, the physical activity combined with the social side is a great stress reliever. Endorphins, less cortisol. It helps you switch off. We even found some research suggesting positive effects on things like BDNF production in the brain, especially noted in female players.
BDNF, brain food, basically.
Kind of, yeah. Important for brain health. And then linking back to what we said earlier, the social and networking benefits are huge. Playing doubles forces you to connect. You build camaraderie. Many people make lasting friendships through Padel. Clubs are often really inclusive communities, mixing ages, backgrounds, skill levels. That 40% female participation really speaks to that welcoming vibe.
Right, it sounds like a really well-rounded package, physical, mental, social. So if someone listening is thinking, okay, I'm curious, I want to try this, how do they actually get started?
Finding courts is getting much easier. Most cities have dedicated Padel clubs now, or tennis clubs adding Padel courts. Best bet. Check online platforms or apps. Playtomic is a big one in Europe, helps you find courts near you, see availability, book a slot.
So technology helps there too.
Definitely. When choosing a club, maybe look for one that offers beginner coaching, lets you rent equipment at first, and just feels welcoming. Lots of places do intro sessions or beginner deals.
Coach found a court. What about gear for a total newbie? Equipment recommendations.
Don't splash out loads initially. For rackets, beginners should look for round-shaped ones. They have a bigger sweet spot, more forgiving, easier for control. Weight-wise, maybe 360, 365 grams is good to start. Not too heavy, but the most important thing, honestly, shoes.
Shoes. More than the racket.
For safety and performance, yes. Get proper Padel shoes designed for artificial turf. They have specific soles for grip and movement on that surface. Don't just wear running shoes, clothing. Just comfortable sportswear you can move freely in.
Got it. Shoes first. Any quick beginner tips on technique?
Main thing. Focus on control, not power, especially at first. Use a simple grip, like the Continental grip. It's versatile for most shots. Keep your backswing short and simple for consistency. Think about court positioning. Generally, you attack up near the net, defend further back. Learn to move between those positions with your partner. And don't ignore the wall play. Try to learn how the ball comes off the back and side walls. It takes practice, but it's essential. Oh, and patience. Padel rewards strategy and consistency more than just whacking the ball.
Good advice. How easy is it to actually book a Padel court?
Usually pretty simple via those apps or the club's website. You can often pay per session, pay and play, or get a membership if you plan to play regularly. Definitely book ahead, though, especially evenings and weekends as courts get busy.
And finally, any classic beginner mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, a few common ones. Trying to hit everything too hard. Forgetting the walls exist or being afraid to use them. Bad positioning standing in no man's land. Not communicating with your partner is super important in doubles. And yeah, using the wrong shoes or a racket that's too advanced for you. Start simple.
Okay, that's super helpful practical advice. Let's zoom out again. The road ahead. Where does Padel go from here? What about getting into the Olympics?
The pro side is definitely evolving fast. The professional tours are getting more serious. Premier Padel is the main tour now, backed by the FIP and Qatar Sports Investments. They have major tournaments like in tennis with big prize money over €500,000 for each major. And they're playing at iconic venues Roland Garros in Paris, the Foro Italico in Rome. That gives it huge visibility and legitimacy.
So the pro game is getting slicker. What about tech?
Technological integration is happening too. Better rackets, obviously, but also smart court technology, sensors tracking ball speed, player movement for analysis. Video analysis for coaching is getting common. Broadcasting is improving too, making it better to watch on TV or online.
And the global expansion, you mentioned the US, Asia, any other opportunities?
Yeah, loads. Integrating Padel into multi-sport clubs, building courts in residential developments, universities, even corporate campuses for employee wellness. The potential's still huge, especially in North America. They predict like a 12% annual growth rate there through 2030. Asia is barely touched yet.
And the big dream, Olympic aspirations. Is that realistic?
It's definitely a goal for the FIP. Padel is already in some regional multi-sport games. It ticks a lot of the boxes the IOC likes. Growing global participation, good gender balance. It's visually appealing for spectators. So it's a contender, maybe for LA 2028 or Brisbane 2032. We'll see.
But it can't all be smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
There are challenges ahead.
For sure. Growth itself brings challenges. Court availability is still the main bottleneck in many places. Building courts isn't cheap, and finding land in cities is tough and expensive. In mature markets like Spain, you might start seeing some market saturation. There's also competition from other sports, like pickleball, which is also growing fast, especially in the US. And maybe some resistance from traditional tennis clubs, though many are now embracing Padel.
So challenges, but also opportunities.
Absolutely. More tech integration, making courts more sustainable, really focusing on youth development programs to build the base. Improving coach education is vital, too, to ensure quality instruction as it grows. Developing clear pathways for players to go from beginner to pro. Lots to work on, but the momentum is strong.
It really sounds like it. It's this unique blend, fitness, fun, strategy, and that strong social core.
Exactly. It just seems to hit the right notes for what many people want from sport and leisure today. That combination of physical activity and genuine human connection. Hopefully this deep dive, drawing on all the research we did at the Urban Herald, gives everyone a really solid understanding of why Padel is, well, the sport everyone seems to be talking about.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey, tracing Padel from that Acapulco backyard to this global phenomenon. It really shows how accessibility, the social side, and smart innovation can create something special. Whether it makes the Olympics or just keeps growing organically in communities worldwide, its impact feels pretty transformational already. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How might this incredible growth story influence other sports trying to emerge? And maybe what does it tell us about what we're all really looking for when we choose how to spend our free time today? Lots to think about there. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive here at the Urban Herald.